Hi everyone, it's Kerchie. Welcome to my second annual Q&A and Happy New Year. It goes without saying, I can't believe it's 2022. It's been 2 years since you know what happened, but we've made it this far, and if you're still here with me, we're all surviving, we're all getting through it, and that's all we can do, right? Just go with the flow. Anyway, I'm super excited for my Q&A, so let's get started. I'm going to be pulling up my phone here and checking all of your questions. I actually haven't read any of them. I haven't pre-vetted them for this Q&A, so I'm just going to pick the ones that I find interesting. I'm going to go in order based on who submitted them first. And again, I won't be answering questions that I've already answered in my first Q&A. Actually, before I start, I should update you guys on how many Polly Pockets I have. I feel like I should do that every year just to kind of get a number out there, since a lot of people are curious. And that is a question that I get often. I'm gonna pull up my spreadsheet here, and I do spreadsheets. I love spreadsheets. So in total, I have 335 Polly Pocket sets. That is a lot. That doesn't include other compact toys, dolls, all the other things I've chosen to collect. That number I'm not comfortable revealing yet because it's embarrassingly high at this point. I know it's a number that should be like, oh my god, that's so impressive, but I am a little embarrassed about it, so for now I'll just keep that to myself. Not even George knows about that. Anyway, let's get started with a Q&A. First question is from Jim DeButcher. I actually see you comment a lot on my videos. And hello, how are you? And thank you for commenting a lot. And your question is, in your experience, what is the best and worst part of being married? Wow, right off the bat, nothing to do with my collection. Personal life question, which I love, by the way. The best part about being married, so let's see. I've been with George for 11 years. We've been married for 7 years of that relationship. And the best part is just having a best friend, having someone there to do stuff with, having someone who you have a lot in common with. Personally, I don't find marriage to be something necessary for me. I didn't even think I would ever get married, but George and I decided to get married because we just loved each other and it just felt right, but it wasn't like a goal or anything. If we had never gotten married, if we had just moved in together and lived together, we would have been just fine. The worst part about being married, honestly, and again, this is just for me, I like my personal space. I don't like this whole thing about whoever made this rule that married couples need to sleep in the same room and they need to sleep at the same time together. Like, if he's sleepy at 10 p.m. and I want to stay up till 3 a.m., I have every right to stay up till 3 a.m. It actually took me a while to get used to that. It used to be like, oh, you're going to bed early? Well, so am I. And then I'll lay in bed looking at my phone for 4 hours. So it's one of those things where I really had to kind of condition myself to be more of an individual and not just do things together because we're married. I would also really love my own room because I have always wanted my own Sailor Moon themed bedroom with Sailor Moon sheets with that bunny pattern. You all know which one I'm talking about. But of course, being that George is a dude, I can't really have that and share a bed with him also. I have opened up the idea of having separate bedrooms, but for him, he's really more of a traditional guy and it's just a little too weird for him. You know what? Tradition just sucks. I love the saying, tradition is just peer pressure from dead people, because that's exactly what it is. I'm a modern woman, dang it, and I want my Sailor Moon room. Moving on to question number 2, because I can rant about this forever. This one is from Happy Hearts Doll World. Hello there. Can you make more custom Polly Pockets? I loved the vampire one. I think it was last year, I don't remember. It was definitely a Halloween because my crafting spirit somehow manifests on Halloween. I made a Vampire Mansion Polly Pocket and I'm so glad that it was very well received because I worked super hard on it, and I remember staying up really late to finish it because it took longer than I expected. And to answer your question, I will make more custom Polly Pockets, but because they take so long to make, it's gonna be a rare occasion thing. I would love to do it at least once a month and have my own collection of handmade Pollys going on, but it seems like it's kind of a once a year thing, maybe less frequent, which is terrible, I know. I'm one of those crafters who wants to make everything. I even started sewing at some point. I also want to learn how to 3D print my own custom Polly Pockets because That way I can actually mass produce them and sell them, and it'll just be really cool. That's a whole other project that I need to educate myself on, because I also need to learn how to use the 3D programs that go along with 3D printing. And honestly, I just want to clone myself so I can do everything that I've ever wanted to do. So this person asked a lot of questions. I'm going to try to answer some of them. This is from Gabrielle Radha. I hope I said your name correctly. Hello there. Do you like doll houses? I do like doll houses. I don't have space for doll houses, but I would absolutely love to collect them. I actually want a vintage Barbie dream house. I was trying to look on eBay for it. I couldn't really find one that met my standards, I guess. And then there's the new one that's like $200, but it doesn't look that great, so I don't know if I want it. But yeah, at some point I would love to have a space big enough for a bunch of doll houses. How many unopened toys do you have? A lot, actually. Embarrassingly a lot, because my room is looking kind of like a warehouse. If you go on my TikTok, you can see some of them. I showcase a little bit on my TikTok, but I definitely need to start showcasing those soon so I can open them. If I can give a number, I would say maybe like 50 unopened things. That's a lot. I'm not a hoarder, I promise. I'm organized. Do you like cats or hate them? I do love cats, but cats unfortunately do not love me. There's actually a big orange cat that likes to hop into my backyard, and my dogs absolutely go crazy and they chase him out of our yard, but he keeps coming back, so he's afraid, but then not afraid because he keeps coming back. And then we have a neighborhood cat. Every time George and I are walking the neighborhood, this cat would just come up to me and rub up against me, and he's so cute. And he would stop at exactly the same spot, meaning that he can't go further than that. It's like he's trained to stay within a certain vicinity. And their last question is a bit of a serious one. How much money are you getting from YouTube? So this one I want to be honest about, because if you're out there thinking of starting your own channel, I would absolutely encourage you to do so, but I also want you to be realistic that you're not going to see a lot of money unless you have millions of subscribers, and unless you have some kind of like a polarizing personality where you're a little bit controversial. We all know those types of people. So for me, I actually don't make that much. I'm not going to reveal a number, but I will tell you that it will not pay rent or my mortgage or anything like that. It pretty much goes right back into my content, into my crafting, my businesses, and I don't even really break even. Like if I was treating this as a real full-time job, I would definitely be in debt. And YouTubers get most of their money from sponsorships anyway. They don't really get it from ad revenue unless you're super, super popular, of course. So yeah, I mainly do YouTube for fun because I love showing my crafts and my collection. The little bit of pocket change is just extra for me to put back into equipment and more toys. This one is from Rachel Retro. I love your name. Hello. Rachel Retro. That's like a superhero name. Does your husband collect anything, and or does he enjoy your collection? She goes on to say that whenever she wants to add something to her collection, her husband encourages her to do so. That is awesome. He's a keeper. So George actually encourages me to add more to my collection. In the very beginning, we did kind of have a sit down and we're kind of like, okay, don't go too crazy because, you know, collecting is a rabbit hole and we don't want to be in debt, blah, blah, blah. In one ear, out the other. But now my collection has actually significantly slowed down because a lot of the things that I want are either really, really expensive or really, really rare. So for now, the things that I'm adding to my collection are the newer Polly Pockets, which aren't that expensive. So he does enjoy my collection, although he thinks I'm crazy. Like he'll come in here, look around and just go, wow, and then leave. He doesn't specifically collect anything, but he does have a few WWE figures, those little mini ones, but he shoved them in his closet and he's not even displaying them. And I don't know if you can see this. I know it looks like I'm not holding anything, but this is actually a John Cena giant 12-ish inch figure. And he randomly found this at Target and was like, you know what? I'm taking him home with me. So he just stands at George's desk watching him play World of Warcraft all night. Like just now, I went over there and grabbed this. This one is from Anna Margarita AL. Hello. Which are your top 10 favorite toys from your collection? Top 10? That's a lot. So Jewel Magic Ball, anything that's new in box. So I don't know if I'm gonna fill up all 10 in this list, but I'm just gonna generalize it. So anything that's new in box that I haven't opened yet that's vintage. Anything Sailor Moon, like I just started collecting those wands and they're really pretty, so that would be on my list too. And the classic ones, the Mermaid Adventure book, Fairy Light Wonderland. Also any compact toys from Japan, because Japan just makes the cutest toys and they're so hard to get and I just love them. This one is from Otaku Tante. Hello. I would like to know if you draw or paint besides Polly Pockets, and if you're going to plan to show us a drawing or painting video unrelated to Polly Pocket in the future. I did start out as an illustrator. I wanted to draw a bunch of things and eventually work at Disney or Pixar as an animator when I was a kid. So I am a drawer, but I'm also, okay, admittedly, lazy, and I never really pursued illustration. So I will not be drawing on my channel unless maybe I do like a different series where I am drawing, but I'm also talking and ranting about random things. I wouldn't just draw and have you guys just watch me draw. Number one, that would be very boring. And number two, I'm not that amazing of an artist that you will get lost in the art that I create when it comes to drawing. When it comes to sculpting, my Polly Pockets, those are a bit more interesting. They also mentioned that they're gonna start their own channel in 2022, so yes, please go ahead, good luck to you, and I can't wait to see your amazing creations. This one is from Gonta, the gentleman. Hello there. I don't know if you answered this before. I actually don't know if I did answer this before. Do you have any tips on starting out a toy collection? Because they're young, they don't have a lot of money or space, and they would like to know how to start out. Firstly, I would figure out if you want vintage or modern. And if you want vintage, you do have to kind of save a little bit and go hunting on eBay and other sites to be able to get one. They are more expensive, so they do require a bit more budgeting. But once you get a vintage piece, you just feel so happy and proud of it. Then if you go the modern toy route, those are more available at your regular store. Amazon, Target, and Walmart are the trio, Holy Trinity. And those are easy. So I would start with the lower hanging fruit, the cheaper ones, but of course make sure that you actually like it. Don't just buy it because it's there, because it's available. And as far as space goes, that's my problem right now. And I actually talked to my therapist about this to make sure that I'm not entering hoarding territory. And she said that if I can't get around my room, then I'm going into hoarding territory. But if everything still fits in the confined space that I have set for myself, then I'm okay. So I would say that buy what fits in the space that you have. Don't plan to buy for space that you will have in the future, if that makes any sense. For example, don't buy 100 toys and say, oh, when I get a new house, it'll fit. You need to plan for the space that you have now. So if you don't have a lot of space, don't get a lot of toys. Otherwise, you will enter hoarding territory and you won't be able to get around your space, and you're gonna look at your toys and you're actually just gonna feel angry instead of happy. And honestly, if you buy one toy a month, in a year, you'll have an actual collection. You'll have 12 pieces. So you don't have to buy it all at once if you want to budget. And I think once a month is very reasonable. I'm kind of at that point now as well, where I'm only getting 1 or 2 pieces a month. And I've actually gone some months this year without buying anything at all. This one is from Victor Matthias. Did I say that right? Oh my gosh. Hi, I'm also a product designer and I take you as an example. I just wanted to ask you if you have any tips on how to be a nice and creative designer, especially when it comes to working with other people's ideas. This is such an amazing question. I really appreciate you asking this, mainly because not a whole lot of people know that I'm a product designer or care that I'm a product designer, but it's actually a huge part of my life. It is my chosen career that I have dedicated my whole life to. So one thing that has gotten me very far in my career is my creativity. And that's something that's really hard to teach because that's something that kind of comes from your heart. Creativity comes from your heart and design comes from your brain. And if you work in the product design field, especially working in tech, working with other people, it's really hard to be creative because you are told what to do. You're told by your product manager what to do. You're told by your customers what to do. But one of the things that I like to do is if I get a criteria that tells me what I need to design, I do that. And then I think about what else I can add to make it just a little bit better, just a step above what's being asked of me. And that depends on the project, because sometimes you'll get a project that's like, oh, we just need this done right away, so just finish it. And honestly, working in tech most of the time, that's how it is. But there are times where there's a little bit of wiggle room and you can make a product just a little bit better, and your idea might not come to fruition at the end of the day, but just presenting it, showing your team, showing your PM, shows that you really do care about the product and the customers. So that's one way I like to apply creativity to my designs. I just look at the criteria and think, what's one thing that would make this just a little bit better? When it comes to working with other people's ideas, that is definitely tough. Super, super tough. For me personally, I'm used to working on my own. I've always been kind of a lone wolf. And when I started working in tech, I'm suddenly put in this environment where I'm working with so many people, so many different teams. Cross-functional teams is the term that they like to use. And now that I work remotely, I'm actually working with even more people because they're all over the world and we all have access to the internet, so we all talk together. First and foremost, you just have to be humble, and you can't be in this headspace thinking that you're better than everyone, that your idea is the best and their idea sucks, because people can sense that very quickly and you can be blacklisted for that, and people won't come to you with their ideas anymore, or they won't ever implement your ideas simply because you're seen as not a team player. And to be honest, I really don't like mind games. There's this whole thing about how, oh, if you want someone to do what you want, you have to make them think it's their idea. And I just don't like those types of mind games. I think that it's weird. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to trick someone into liking my idea. It also feels very Game of Thronesy to me, and that's what I don't like about work politics. So if someone has an idea that you don't like and you have to build off of it or design something you don't like, just think that you're not doing it for you, you're doing it for the customer. Always think about the users and the people actually using this product. But I hope that makes sense, and this is actually why I've chosen to do YouTube and crafting and my small businesses, because that's when I get to just do what I want and implement just my ideas. So that's kind of my release from being told what to do all day. This one is from Mia M. Hi, I know you mentioned that your dad is also a collector, but how about your mom? Is there anything special that she likes to collect, even if it's just a handful of items? My mom will tell you that she actually collects designer handbags, and I think she might have also added designer shoes. This one is from Aya's Dollhouse. Hello there. They have 3 questions. I'm going to answer all 3 because I like them. They're interesting questions. I want to ask if you're interested in getting the Sailor Moon Eternal Compact House Premium Collection Crisis Moon. Yes, I am very interested. I would love it, but unfortunately when it came out, I completely missed it. It flew over my head, and then people started DMing me that it existed and if I'm gonna get it, and by the time I saw it, it's going for like $200 on eBay, and out of principle, I just refused to get it. I'm not gonna pay $200 for something that's this small just because some scalpers decided to beat me to pre-orders. I have morals, okay? I can't. So I'm probably never gonna own it, but it's okay because some things are just out of reach and I still have an amazing collection. I don't have to have everything. And there are people who have it who share photos with me, and I can just live vicariously through them. Who is your favorite Sailor Scout? My favorite Sailor Scout is actually Sailor Mars. Why? Because, can I swear on my channel? This is my channel. She's a bitch, okay? I like her because she's a bitch. I think we're a lot alike. I'm very nice on my channel, but when I'm hanging out with my friends, I get pretty bitchy. In a good way, in a funny way. I think I'm funny. I'm funny, right? I also love how she wears heels, because she's like, you know what? I'm fighting evil by moonlight in heels, and no one's gonna tell me otherwise because I'm gonna look fabulous and I'm gonna do my fire thing and we're gonna win. And I love her for that. Are you interested in getting any Sailor Moon Irwin dolls or just Sailor Moon dolls in the future? I don't know what Sailor Moon Irwin dolls look like. I'm gonna Google it right now. So they're not very cute. They definitely have that vintage look to them, like those vintage anime from the 90s, but they look a little scary, if I'm being honest. And dolls, I have to be careful because I'm actually a little bit scared of dolls. So if I'm gonna collect a doll, it needs to have a really cute face or like a vintage Barbie face. These are a little scary. So I will not be collecting them, not to mention they're expensive. So $425. No. That's insane. Sailor Moon dolls in the future. I will collect one if they come out with one that looks more like Barbie. Honestly, Mattel, just please collab with Sailor Moon and make a Sailor Moon doll because Mattel makes the best dolls out there, if I'm being honest. And also Moose toys. So if they could somehow collab and make something happen, I'm here for it. This one is from Katrien Vrankin. I love your name. Katrien. It kind of sounds like my real name, Katrina. What is your daytime job? As I mentioned earlier, it is product designer. That's my daytime job. My official job title though is user experience manager. So user experience basically encompasses product design, anything that our customers use. I manage a small team of product designers, but I'm also a hybrid, so I'm still doing product design. And basically what that is I design apps and features for the company that I work for. I work in an ad management company, so I design things like video players, dashboards. It sounds really boring talking about it, but hey, you know what? It's fun for me. And I just became a manager this year, and it's a little weird for me because I've never done it before. And I was actually kind of skeptical about it. Like, are you sure you guys want me to be a manager? Because I've never done it and I still feel like a child. I feel like I'm the one who needs to be managed. But one of the things I love about the company that I work for is they had a lot of faith in me, and they basically said, you know, you're gonna do it. Just do it. And then I said, okay. And I hired a couple amazing product designers who are very talented, and I'm very happy to be their manager. And I hope they like me too. But yes, I work from home. It's completely remote. George and I actually both work from home, which is great because our schedules are flexible. Like we can take our dog to the vet, we can have lunch together. And if there's one thing good that I can say about the situation of the world, it's that there has been a surplus of remote jobs. So there's just a lot more opportunities for people, and people don't have to move somewhere where they don't want to live just to get a job. It depends on the job that you're going for, of course, but there's been a significant increase in remote opportunities for everyone. This one is from Mixo Gat. Hi, how do you feel about old toys customization? Are they untouchable? Can you make them even greater? So this is a hot debate. And I would say it depends on who owns the actual vintage item. I restore my Polly Pockets, and I was actually featured on Art Insider, and I got a handful of comments saying that I ruined the Polly Pocket and that if they were the client, they would be upset because I removed their wings and I added like polymer clay wings and I would paint them different colors. And someone said that it's not actually restoration that I'm doing, it's actually modification, which made a lot of sense. So even though I'm technically restoring them to look new, they also look different than their original aesthetic. So I'm resto-fying them. I don't want to be the person to make this rule, and I don't even think that there's a set rule out there, but if you change a vintage item to where it doesn't look 100% like its original state from the time that it was released, then it could definitely devalue. One show I can think of is Pawn Stars. Do you guys remember that show? They'll get something really old and then they'll restore it and sell it at the pawn shop, and they'll get a historian to come in and kind of vet it and see if it's original or whatever. I guess a historian would be the one to kind of give a final answer to this. I know for sure that my Polly Pockets have gone down in value since I modified them, and I don't care because I'm never going to resell them. And when I leave this earth, I want my entire collection to be buried with me. And if anyone takes one, I will put a curse on them, just like in The Mummy, where they each took those gold treasures and the mummy put a curse on each of them. That's gonna be me. This one is from Abrielle Airy. That's a French name, and I took French in high school and I learned nothing. I want to know what was the trigger for your collection. I started collecting Polly Pockets when I fell ill with cancer. I needed a colorful and soft world. Since then, I've been in remission, but my Polly Pockets are always with me. Firstly, I'm incredibly glad that you're in remission. George just had a cancer scare earlier this year. He actually had surgery on his head to remove a cancerous mole. So here's also another thing we all need to get checked. Our heads, which we don't often see because of our hair, obligatory fuck cancer. What was the trigger for my collection? I have been wanting to collect for a couple years before I even actually started collecting. I just didn't know how to do it, and I was really scared to buy on eBay. And then my mother-in-law bought me this, the little Toy Story Polly Pocket. When I opened it, I just fell in love with it, and all the feelings of nostalgia started rushing back to me. And that's when I started to hunt down my favorite Polly Pockets. The first one being Jewel Magic Ball. I just realized John is still back here. You guys didn't see him? That joke is getting so old. I'm sorry. This one is from Yellow Moon YT, which I assume stands for Yellow Moon YouTube. I don't know. Hi, are you gonna release any merchandise? So my official merchandise is called Kerch Merch. It was called Kerchie's Merchies, but I changed it to Kerch Merch because it sounds cooler. And that was actually an idea from my sister-in-law. And so far, the only merch I have is the Polly Pocket logo sticker, where you can restore your vintage Polly Pocket logo easily. As far as actual merch, I definitely plan on releasing some. I want to release my own toy line, my own Polly Pocket line, maybe some t-shirts or something like that. But again, in terms of illustrating my own drawings, I just have to stop being a lazy illustrator. I have friends who are amazing illustrators, and I'm like, oh my God, give me your energy because you're amazing and I want to be like you. This one is from Tigger Cereals. Hi, do you have a doll collection? Which doll line is your favorite? So I started collecting dolls and I have now stopped collecting dolls. Here's why. They have taken over my life. My shelves are full of unboxed dolls. I showed on my TikTok that I have a bunch of Kindy Kids, Betty Spaghetti, and of course the Mattel Hello Kitty collab on this shelf. Shoppy's bunch of Shoppy dolls. I also have Cave Club, and I actually returned them because I felt guilty adding more dolls to my collection, and Walmart will let me keep them. So yay Walmart, but also why not just keep them and add more Cave Club dolls since I already have some. I'm definitely trying to limit my dolls. I'm not adding Rainbow High, I'm not adding Monster High, I'm not adding LOL dolls. Those, no. Goodbye. My favorite doll line is Kindy Kids. They're so cute and I can't get myself to open them out of the box because the packaging is also super cute and the packaging kind of doubles as a shelf for my other dolls. And my favorite thing about dolls are the eyes and the face because, like I said earlier, I'm a little bit scared of dolls, so they have to be really, really cute for me to not be scared of them. And Kindy Kids are super adorable. This one is from Mary B. Hernandez. Hello. My question is, what was your first ever dog tag and what made you want to make and design dog tags? So one of my small businesses, Pick Squeaks, is where I sell my handmade pet ID tags. And that was actually a project way back in college. So at the time I had my jewelry shop already. It was up and running on Etsy and it's actually gonna open soon this year. I promise. I'm working very hard. It's just like, I'm such a perfectionist and these are products that I see myself wearing and I would never sell anything I wouldn't actually use myself. So they're done. I just have to photograph them and set them up on my website. But for Pick Squeaks, it was my college project because the criteria was to just do anything design related. So you can build an entire brand, you can build a website or whatever. And of course, my thought was, why not do two things at once where I can knock this project out and also start a second small business. And before pet tags, it was actually little bow ties for dogs. And I started sewing these bow ties for our family dog Paco, who by the way is almost 17 years old. Then my dad asked me to also make a little charm that goes with a bow tie. So I sculpted this little Chihuahua charm thing. And from there I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of cool. I can cut shapes and make them into little pet tags. So at the time, my pet tags were completely hand sculpted out of clay. And then I eventually moved to resin because it's just a lot more versatile. I can literally design anything that customers ask me to, and you can fit a lot more information on the back. So the very first dog tag I made is actually with my dad right now. I don't know if he still has it, but it's circle and it's blue and it has Paco's sculpted head on it. Or is it red? I don't remember. This was like 2014. And what made me decide to make pet tags? I just wanted to make something cute, like a charm that also has functionality. It's not just for looks. And pet tags are perfect because it has your pet's information, your contact information, your pet's name, of course. And people can really put their personality into these pet tags, which is my favorite thing when people ask for a custom order because they have something very, very specific that just fits their pet perfectly. This question is from M.A. Hi, is there anything you'd love to start collecting but don't have enough resources to get invested in at the moment? Dollhouses. Like what we talked about earlier, I would love to add dollhouses to my collection. The space is just not there. I love those little Sylvanian family homes. They are so cute and I would love to have my own Sylvanian family village. I just don't have the space. And I think even if I did, They take up so much space that I would need to live in a warehouse or something. This one is from Kaylee Kaiser. Did I say that right? Hi, could you show us the Polly Pockets you had when you were younger? Do you have them all in your collection now? And what are some compacts you're on the lookout for? I don't have any of my original Polly Pockets. I basically had to start over. I did show Jewel Magic Ball, so that's the one from my childhood that I wanted to add first to my collection. So as of right now, yes, I have added all the Polly Pockets that my sister and I had to my collection. Compacts that I'm on the lookout for, the Sailor Moon one that I mentioned earlier that I'm probably never gonna get, and there are these Sanrio compacts from Pop Mart that I just saw today, and I'm so mad because they don't ship to the US. I literally just saw it today, and it actually still hurts me because they're very cute. I need them. I need them. This one is from Ryan McElroy. Hi Ryan, you're also one of my most frequent commenters. Hello. Will you also be redecorating or fixing other small compacts or different style toys or dolls? I would absolutely love to do like a whole doll makeover. I don't remember this guy's name. I think his name is Zidian or something. He's very popular out there and he does these incredible doll makeovers and they are just so amazing and I've always wanted to try it. I do want to repaint other compacts as well. I'm just not as put off by them as I was with the 2018 Polly Pocket reboots. These little Hello Kitties right here, I do want to repaint them a little bit, but to be honest, I like them the way they are. Like, I'm not incredibly disgusted by them. This one is from Kawaii Peach. Hi, what's a standout toy or compact that you have gotten this year? I'm gonna show you. Here it is. It's ginormous. Ta-da! This is the Trendmaster Cinderella Castle. This is also one that my sister had when she was little. And when I texted her about it, she doesn't even remember. She doesn't remember any of our childhood. Meanwhile, here I am, stuck in the 90s. They also asked, tell me your favorite moment from this year. Honestly, definitely the new bill of health that George and I had gotten. So over the summer, we both went through a couple health scares at the same time, which is really scary because we don't have any family near us to take care of us. But basically, he went through that thing with his head where they found a possible cancerous mole, which was precancerous, so they had to remove it, and then he had to go through the whole healing process with his head. And I don't even see the scar anymore, so favorite moment, he healed beautifully and he's healthy. And for me, I went through some things with my liver, so after being scared to get a bunch of scans, I decided to go ahead and get the scan, and it turned out to be nothing. So what was all that about? And they were scaring me saying it's a tumor, but then it's not. So clean bill of health. This one is from Dorkin with Dolls. Hi. Your skin is glowing. If you could bring back any discontinued miniature collectible line, what would it be and why? Of course, vintage Polly Pockets. Of course. Why? Because no one should have to spend that much money on this. And we all love them. There's a market for this, so I don't see why they couldn't just reboot it exactly the way it was. This is from Corinne A. Lolvaro. Hi, what is your unfavorite compact? I have this rule where everything I add to my collection has to be something that I love, but that's not always the case because when I get something, sometimes it's just not what I expect. So I have a bunch of these little gotcha things, gotcha, and they're kind of crap. But I got them because they're compacts, and inside there's like stickers, and I just don't like compacts where you have to put stickers on them to make them look decorative. But there's a reason why I haven't showcased these yet, because I'm just not very excited about them. But I got them because I think these are Disney themed. I don't even remember anymore. Yeah, so this one is Snow White, and the only thing Snow White about this are the stickers. It doesn't come with a Snow White figure or anything. But that's why I bought these, and now I'm just not excited about them anymore. So I have a bunch of them. I have like 20 of them. This one is from G. Hi, do you rewatch your videos? I do rewatch my videos because I like to judge myself and see everything that I did wrong and see how I can improve. And I also like to pick at all the little awkward things that I do. I rewatch my videos also to just kind of gauge the production quality. I'm a perfectionist, so when I see something I don't like in one video, I make sure to fix it in the next video. But I don't like watching myself too much because I do feel cringy. When you watch yourself and when you listen to yourself, you just cringe. A lot of people tell me that they like my voice, that it's very soothing, but when I hear it, I just hear like a banshee. This one is from Angel Woo. Hi. Will you ever share your Polly Pockets to your kids or other people's kids? Hell no. I'm sorry. No. I don't plan on having my own kids, and as far as other people's kids, I'm having flashbacks to when my mom had a friend over at our house and she brought her kids with her, and her kids went through me and my sister's things and touched everything and put everything on the floor, and their mom did nothing about it. And I think about that a lot. And that has really traumatized me. Wow, I actually need to talk to my therapist about this, but I feel like that moment is why I'm so controlling of my stuff, and everything needs to be exactly where it is. And if anyone comes up in here and touches things, but I'm sorry, I will not be sharing my toys with anyone. They're mine. They also asked, what are your top 5 favorite movies? Alice in Wonderland, the Disney one. Coraline. Love that movie. I watch it every Halloween. A Little Princess. That one I haven't seen in a while, but it brings back really good memories for me. 4th one, I know I have it somewhere. Probably Elf, because I just watched it and I've seen it 100 times, but every time I watch it, I laugh as if the jokes are new. That's just how funny the movie is to me. 5th one, I know the answer, but when I'm thinking of the answer, it's like I don't know the answer. I'm gonna cheat a little and say it's the entire Resident Evil series. I just really love those movies. They're my guilty pleasure. This one is from Samuel Bonet. Hi, how did you know you were popular? Do some people recognize you on the street? I am absolutely not popular. I am in a very niche market. If you go up to anyone and tell them, hey, do you know who Kerchie is? They'll say, what is that? People do not recognize me. I just don't have that kind of face that stands out. I also wear a mask, sunglasses, and sometimes a hat because I just don't want to be seen. I don't like being approached. Also, the state of the world, obviously socializing isn't part of my day, but I do have scenarios that I think about in my head where I'm some famous celebrity and people recognize me and I'm like, please, no photos, please. I haven't even gotten through half of these, so I'm gonna speed it up. I'm sorry if I skip your question. My mouth is getting dry. This one is from Daniel Nascimento. Did I get that right? Hi. What would you see as the ideal evolution of Polly Pockets as well as compact toys as a whole? The evolution of Polly Pockets. Well, firstly, they need to devolve back into the vintage ones. And it would be cool if they could all light up because I would love to just line them all up here at night, like how it is now. It's dark. And just have them all lit up like night lights. And honestly, they just don't need to evolve past that. And again, I'm highly biased towards the vintage ones, so I'm gonna say it again, just put them back the way they were. Here's another one from Gabrielle Radha from earlier, and I'm answering this because this is actually an interesting question. What's your most hated toy in the world? A toy that I hate most. LOL dolls. Oh my god, I can't stand them. I don't get it. I don't get it because they're babies, but they're not. They're babies, but they have these fully developed bodies. And I think there was a person out there who unclothed them and they actually had female anatomies, if you know what I'm saying, like detailed female anatomies. And they're also just ugly. I'm sorry, but they're ugly. If you collect them, I don't mean to offend you. I just feel very strongly about them because they are everywhere. Everywhere I turn, they're marketing them. Every social media page that I follow, they market them. What is it that they have that other dolls don't have other than really good marketing? Their eyes also creep me out a little bit, and I think they were inspired by Powerpuff Girls. And I think at this point, the quality of the dolls, especially the blind boxes or whatever they're called, the quality is just so bad. The reviews are bad, but they still make them. They still market them. This one is from Sophia Ciro. Hello there. What do you do to get your skin so glowing? And what do you do to take care of your hands? I'm actually quite self-conscious about my skin, and I'm not wearing foundation right now. I'm just wearing eyeliner, mascara, lipstick, and that's it. But for my skin, I am very meticulous about my skincare. I just do the 7 to 10 step Korean skincare. You can Google it. And I use Olay. I just switched to the Olay brand. So my moisturizers are all Olay. I also drink tons of water. I'm talking like a gallon a day, at least. And it's not that I force myself to drink it. I just legitimately love water, and there is nothing more refreshing than ice cold water through a straw. I will drink sodies, but then I just get thirsty, so I go back to drinking water. For my hands, I lotion them a lot. They're actually super dry and wrinkly right now because it's really cold here. And my family has chronic dry hand syndrome. I don't know if that's a real thing, but my sister has very dry hands. And right before my showcases, I moisturize them with oil and lotion. And that's pretty much it. I wash my hands a lot, which makes them drier, so I have to put extra lotion on them. But as far as my skin goes, I am very much anti-makeup, and I'll only wear what's needed to enhance my features. But I absolutely hate foundation and concealer. I just feel like I can feel it on my skin. Like, I'm very aware that it's there when I wear foundation. So this is probably the most makeup I'll ever wear ever, because I want to make a stand and just stop relying on makeup so much. This question is from Summer Graham. Hello. If you were invited to the original Bluebird factory in Swindon, UK, what would you do and say while there? I would say, can I live here? And I would take a bunch of pictures, videos, document that whole thing, put it up on my channel. I would also ask if I can buy some original pieces, new in box, untouched. That would be so amazing. And not just Polly's, but they made a bunch of other compacts. Mighty Max, Lucy Lockets. That would be a dream. This one is from Laura C. Hi. Do you ever have regrets for collecting too many things or get stressed trying to preserve your collection in the best conditions? Absolutely. I do get stressed. And on my TikTok, when I posted my collection, someone actually mentioned that my room stresses them out. And then I put, oh, you probably have clutter anxiety, which I also have. But my collection is controlled and organized, so my anxiety isn't that bad. But it's also the space that I have, it's very small, so I feel like sometimes they're closing in around me. But if I had a bigger room, like a dedicated space where I can shelve them nicely, it wouldn't give me that much anxiety. I'm not too worried about preserving them in the best conditions because they have lasted this long. They have lasted almost 30 years, and they're gonna last 30 more years because plastic doesn't really break down. And my collection doesn't get terribly dusty because I do keep them kind of underneath shelves like this one here. This part doesn't really get that dusty. And the ones in the closet don't get too dusty either. This one is from Lisa Twang and her daughter Tully. Hello. That is such a cute name. What equipment do you use to shoot and edit your videos? Tully says they always look so clear. I love hearing that feedback. As a designer, I need feedback to know that the quality of my content is meeting your expectations. I use a Lumix GH5. I'm reading it right now. A lot of creators actually use this, and they also use the previous iteration, the GH4. So I highly recommend those two cameras. And I use Adobe Premiere Pro to edit my videos, and I actually taught myself how to use the program. I didn't take any courses. I pretty much just went on YouTube and followed a tutorial, and it's a lot easier than you think. So if you're thinking of starting your own channel, go ahead and do it. It's a lot of fun. And they also asked, do you have any tips to edit videos quickly while maintaining that professional quality? Because I find editing incredibly time consuming, although it can be fun. The only thing I can think of to edit videos quickly is to use keybinds. There's actually this keybind, I don't remember what it is. If you cut away a bunch of things in your video and delete them, you can just press this keybind and it will glue all of your clips together so that you don't have to individually drag them. So that's a quick way to do it. Otherwise, editing is just time consuming, which is why there are actual editors that are hired by these popular rich YouTubers. Most YouTubers actually don't edit their own videos. Some of them say they do, but I think they're lying. I prefer to edit my own videos because number one, I can't afford to hire someone anyway. Number two, I'm just very particular about how I want things done. This next question is from Flores Mitty R. Again, sorry if I butchered your name. Hello. Are you planning to get more dogs, or do you already have new dogs? I currently have 3 dogs, and as much as I want more, they're quite a handful. Their personalities have actually changed this year. They're so incredibly bad now. I don't know what happened. I think it's because the three of them have formed a very close bond and they have formed this pack mentality where they just do things together, they bark together, they run around the house, they destroy things together. And this is why I could never be a mother to actual human children, because I'm terrible. I don't train them, I don't discipline them, I just let them run my life. And they will probably be the last dogs I will have, because when they cross the Rainbow Bridge, which will hopefully be way in the future, George and I want to actually travel to see the rest of the world or just go on vacation somewhere without having to worry about our dogs. This one is from Secreto. Hello there. Do you plan on collecting the Star Castle series by Trendmasters aside from the Cinderella set? It's like they knew I just showed this. But yes, I am collecting other Trendmasters. So far I have these and I have these. So I do have quite a lot of new in-box Star Castles, and I think I'm pretty much just gonna stick to the new in-box ones because the ones that are not new in-box aren't complete, or at least I haven't seen one that's complete. So these are definitely a treat for me, a once in a while purchase, because they are rare and a little bit on the high-end side, so I hope to get more in the future. This one is from Althea Hinojosa. I know I said that right. I did. Can you spill some things about the prices of the pieces in your collection? As a collector myself, finances are something I grapple with every purchase. What's the cheapest thing in your collection, or a piece that you were surprised to get so cheap? I pride myself on being very good at finding the best deals and also just talking to the sellers. They are human after all, and if you talk to them and kind of give them your backstory, you'll find that they're actually quite empathetic and they'll give you a nice discount. Most of the time, yes, sometimes you get that seller that's just very hard on the price, but it doesn't hurt to talk. So when I started my collection, obviously I was looking to buy a lot because I was just starting out, so I wanted to build that collection. And I found sellers who were selling Polly Pockets in bulk, and I told them, hey, if I buy 10 sets, can you give me a huge discount? And usually they said yes. The cheapest thing in my collection is, I'm pulling up the spreadsheet again, the modern rings like this one, they're just a couple dollars. These Pet Connects are also pretty cheap. They're only $4.99, but I am missing one. And I don't want to showcase 3. I need the whole set. So I'm waiting to get that last one. And I'm always one away from showcasing. Always. A toy that I was surprised that I got really cheap, actually, this little dragon right here. I only got her for $18. I don't know how, because it was a bid, but no one bid on it but me. And these typically go for $40 to $50, so that was definitely a huge deal for me. But again, sometimes people just want to get rid of their stuff, and I think this person just happened to have found it in their attic or something and just wanted to get rid of it. This one is from Hello. Hello. Do you have a favorite compact toy besides Polly Pocket? I am absolutely in love with Twinkle Packed, and I love that there's a bunch of them. I think there's 9 of them. They are so gorgeous. They're Japanese, and they do have a lot of detail. Even though there's no detail on top, there's a lot on the bottom, and the characters are so cute. And here is a bonus question from my own mother. It's so funny because I posted the Q&A announcement on Instagram and I said, don't ask on Instagram, ask on my YouTube video in the comments. And my mom asked on Instagram, but I'm gonna let this go because you're my mom. And she asked, do you think you'll change your interests in the years to come? I'm doing so many things because I get bored very easily. I don't think I'll ever get bored of collecting. I'll never get bored of Polly Pockets. And I may not change my interests, but I might add on to my interests, which is really bad because I can't add any more to my day. My day is already so busy. And I'm back to video gaming, which takes up a lot of time too. So not really. I don't think I see myself changing, just maybe adding something. And here is a question that I get asked a lot by almost everyone. How much have I spent on my collection? I'm sorry, but I will not reveal that number. That is a very private number to me, and you can tell by the look on my face that I'm embarrassed. But I will say this, as far as collections go, I have not spent as much as a typical collector would. And this is also an accumulation of stuff from the past 2 years. I'm coming up on my 3rd year. So I will say that I have not spent as much as an average collector would spend on their collection. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. And that is my second Q&A. I hope you learned a little bit more about me. Thank you for all of your wonderful questions. And a lot of people have also said that my channel has inspired them to start collecting. My channel makes them happy. It's getting them through this crazy thing going on in the world right now. And that just means so much to me because I'm a small creator. So this for me is just so fun to do. I love showing my collection. I love that there are so many Polly Pocket fans out there, and I swear, one day we're gonna get Mattel to just bring back the vintage ones. Not a reboot of the vintage ones like the collector's editions, the actual vintage ones, the way they were before. So I'm gonna wrap this up by doing New Year's resolutions. Let me know what your guys' resolutions are this year and refer back to them at the end of the year to see if you've achieved them or if you tried. Here were my resolutions this year. Let's see if I met them. Lose at least 30 pounds. I didn't do that. I probably gained 30 pounds. My goal was to also reach 10,000 subscribers on my channel. I'm really close, so I didn't quite meet it, but I'm almost there. And I did take a lot of breaks, so I'm giving myself permission to let that go and open my jewelry shop Pixie Hearts, which I also didn't do. I'm terrible at resolutions, but that will be 2022's resolution. I will open Pixie Hearts soon. I'm done doing this whole lose weight resolution thing. I think everyone kind of does that as their resolution. What I want to say is I want to continue to be healthy and do what makes me happy. Honestly, if I want to eat fried chicken, I'm gonna eat it. Do I need to eat a whole bucket of it? Probably not, but I can still eat it, just not all of it. Maybe all of it. Yeah, maybe all of it. I also want to spend more time with my friends, which is the whole reason why I started gaming again. I'm on Discord with them. We're playing Final Fantasy XIV, having such a great time joking around. And I just want to spend more time with them because I have stopped socializing this year. And I recently just started socializing again, even though it's through the internet. And it's just been so good for my soul. And I want to connect more with my best friend. We live far away and we need to bond more. Thank you so much for listening to me rant and answer all of your questions. This is so fun. This is my favorite video to do. And I am back to posting weekly. More showcases to come, more unopened toys and Polly Pockets to showcase. Thank you for watching and have a happy and safe new year.